Kenobi. Kenobi! Okay, boom, you already know what it is. It's Nick Pullamanakos back once more with yet another video essay, and Star Wars Day 2022 has arrived, so I've scrambled together yet another Star Wars video essay. Because I don't feel like talking about any more controversial Star Wars takes, like say how The Last Jedi is the best Star Wars film since Empire Strikes Back, or how Rey is a Skywalker, keep crying about it, I decided that this year I'd play it a bit safer, but still discuss something that I don't see a lot of people talking about. For Star Wars Day 2022, we're of course going to discuss... Yeah, I know, I talked about Clone Wars last year on my channel, but it's just that this show is so damn awesome that it warrants multiple videos. Spoiler alert, this won't be the last video I make on Star Wars The Clone Wars. But, all that being said, for this video essay, I decided to revisit yet another acclaimed arc and focus on a lightsaber duel that I don't think gets the recognition it deserves. This isn't a duel in the traditional sense, meaning that only one fighter here actually uses the Force, and that alone elevates this fight above the rest. But obviously there are a few other reasons, so we're gonna talk about those. For this week's video essay, we're discussing why I think Maul vs. Pre-Viszla is Star Wars The Clone Wars' most underrated lightsaber duel, and I'm also going to explain why it totally freaking rules. So let's dive into it, shall we? There's a lot that can be said about what the Clone Wars did for Star Wars as a whole. Giving us a legendary character in Ahsoka, making each clone feel different and unique, fleshing out Anakin's path to the dark side. But one of my all-time favorite aspects of this show is how it explores and fleshes out the mythos of Mandalore. The planet and its inhabitants play an integral role in the series, where it's the focus in multiple arcs. But its most notable appearance, at least before the now critically acclaimed Siege of Mandalore arc premiered in the show's 7th season on Disney+, was undoubtedly the Shadow Conspiracy arc, which follows Maul on a quest to not only seek revenge on Obi-Wan Kenobi, but assist Pre-Viszla and his group Death Watch in their attempt to take over Mandalore from Duchess Satine. The story sees Maul recruit various crime families to wreak havoc on Mandalore, where Viszla would then seem like the savior in the eyes of the people, as he, quote-unquote, defeats the invaders. Once their plan proves successful, however, Viszla turns on Maul, claiming he has no use for him anymore and imprisons him on Mandalore. Of course, no prison is much use against a Force user, and Maul breaks out, appearing before Death Watch and challenging Viszla to a duel, where the victor would wield the Darksaber and rule Mandalore. Right off the bat, I love how this arc and lightsaber duel showcases the genius of Maul. From the start, it's obvious that Maul is using Viszla. While Viszla thinks he's fooling Maul, it becomes increasingly clear that no one in this arc can outsmart Darth Sidious's former apprentice. While imprisoned, Maul quickly realizes how easy it would be to become Mandalore's true leader from the shadows, and so, following Mandalorian creed, he challenges the incumbent leader to a fight to the death, where the victor shall rule Mandalore. Maul chooses to make this grand spectacle, openly challenging Viszla in front of his fellow Death Watch members. Maul knows that to truly rule a planet like Mandalore, he can't fight dirty. While he's so clearly a villain in all this, it's interesting to see him play this so smart, when he could easily use the Force to destroy everyone in this room without ever even igniting a lightsaber. After all, we saw him do it just 2 years ago in the 7th season. Viszla, while taken aback by the challenge, recognizes that even though Maul isn't a true Mandalorian, backing down from a challenge like this will make him seem weak in the eyes of everyone around him. And so, he accepts the challenge, igniting the Darksaber, and this fight gets underway.
This sword fight, that's a whole act, practically. To do it right, to make it exciting, that's a whole act. Because the fans of Pre-Viszla are gonna mob me at Celebration in the future if Viszla goes down too easily. I mean, this is not gonna be a Boba Fett into the Sarlacc pit.
Much like with every dark side user that's appeared in Star Wars, Maul starts off this fight on the defensive. I kinda like how most duels in Star Wars start out by showing that the dark side user is always stronger when it comes to wielding a lightsaber. You know, Maul, Vader, Dooku, Kylo Ren, in all of their most notable duels, they're always in control of the fight, usually playing more defense while letting the light side user think they have the upper hand, almost like this is all a game to them, until the time is right to showcase their true strength. It's a fun trope that Star Wars uses to showcase how strong the dark side actually is, and it's used superbly here. Viszla comes out swinging for the fences, landing hard strikes against Maul's blade. Maul blocks every single swing that Viszla offers, which forces the leader of Death Watch to improvise. Instead of simply relying on his darksaber, Viszla turns to his Mandalorian weapons, utilizing his blasters, jetpack to get the high ground, and even his flamethrower, which proves to be enough, in a small way, to throw Maul off his game. While his skills with a lightsaber were initially no match for Maul's, Viszla proves that he did deserve to be in this fight, showcasing his own brilliance when it comes to overcoming an impossible obstacle like Maul. But when Viszla turns to outside tactics for their duel, Maul once again plays it safe, opting to try and dodge Vizsla's attacks or bring him back down to the ground. He never uses the Force. At this point in the fight, I was almost begging Maul to freeze Viszla in midair. After all, Viszla stopped using his lightsaber and turned to Mandalorian tactics. Why wouldn't Maul turn to the tactics of the Sith? Well, like I said before, Maul's in this for the long haul. He knows that he needs to build support with Death Watch so that when, not if, when he wins this fight, it'll be by Mandalorian way, not the way of the Sith. Force users were never looked at highly on Mandalore. Hell, if I remember this right, Mandalore has only ever had one Jedi, Tar Viszla, creator of the Darksaber and former ruler of Mandalore. After him, I don't remember there being any other Mandalorians that wielded the Force. So of course, a group like Death Watch wouldn't trust Maul with ruling the planet they just took back. And Maul knows this. So even when he's actually disarmed by Viszla, he resorts to his brute strength to fend off Vizsla's strikes, leading to... We knew it was coming to this. There was just no way Viszla was walking out of this fight alive. And sure enough, Maul finally takes advantage, luring Viszla in and breaking his arm. As Viszla crawls to the throne of Mandalore, where his followers look on in disgust at how the person they just put all their faith in effectively lost with one strike, Maul continues his assault, taunting Viszla at this point. It's here where Maul finally uses the Force again, as he force pulls the Darksaber to himself and ignites it. Viszla, still abiding by Mandalorian creed, accepts his fate, saying,
"Like you said, only the strongest shall rule."
And with one strike, Maul freakin beheads Viszla and proclaims himself the leader of Mandalore. You know, it was at this point that I found myself saying, holy shit, man. Remember when this show was geared more towards kids than a wider audience? This was raw as hell. Alright, in all seriousness, it was awesome to see a non-Force user go up against a character that can only be described as a living weapon, somewhat hold his own, and fight until his last breath. Maul vs. Pre-Viszla is one of the best, most unique, and most exhilarating lightsaber duels in the entire franchise. From the moment it starts, we witness the ingenuity of Maul, systematically destroying every single one of Pre-Viszla's weapons until he has nothing left but his lightsaber. But we know that even with a weapon as powerful as a lightsaber, he was no match for the sheer brutality that defines Maul. From the expert fight choreography to the way this duel alone does wonders for Maul's character development, showcasing how much he's grown from a silent Sith apprentice, Clone Wars' Maul vs. Pre-Viszla lightsaber duel deserves to be in contention for the series' best duels. To be honest, if anything, I hope this video makes you want to rewatch this entire arc, because it seriously rules. I'm actually gonna go do that right now. So I guess I'll just leave you with, Happy Star Wars Day, everyone. Hello, wonderful YouTube community. Thanks so much for checking out my quick little video on a lightsaber duel from Star Wars The Clone Wars. As always, you can find me on Twitter at Nick Manakos, and I've been Nick Manakos, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later, everyone.